Hi, welcome back to my channel, Crochet Craze Creation. My name is Courtney, and in today's tutorial, I am going to be teaching you how I make this beautiful, I'm not going to say flowery, but ruffle hat that I have been fiddling with for the past few days. I have just been doing freehand fiddling because I have been bored. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do this beautiful ruffle hat that I just cannot help but keep making, even though it takes a while. But yeah, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do it, and we are going to be using some Craft Secrets Hot Rose Pink and also some white Craft Secrets, some off-white yarn. This one does not have the label on it because I took off a long time ago, but we are going to be using these two colors to make the hat. This part is, the white part is going to be mainly for the ruffles, and the pink we are going to be using for the main base for the top of the hat and also for the outlining after the end of the ruffles part. And you are going to need a 4-point crochet hook. I use 4-point for every single ruffle hat that I do, and a sewing needle and scissors. So let's get into making this lovely hat. So what I do to start off with my base is I mainly take the yarn from the middle right here, because it is actually easier for me to pull it out to do my continuous rounds for when I'm doing this hat, and that way you're not constantly unraveling the yarn as you go. So we are going to start off with a magic circle. So you're going to take your yarn, you're going to lay it like this in your hand, and you're going to fold your ring finger and pinky finger down, and you're going to wrap the yarn around these two fingers, around your pointer and middle finger, and wrap it down like that to form an X, and take your ring finger and hold the string down. You're going to take your hook, you're going to go under this strand right here, over this one, pull up, twist up, and then you're going to take the strand that your ring finger is holding, go under, wrap around the hook, and then pull through that loop. And now you've created your first chain 1 to create the magic circle. So you're gonna take it off your two fingers very carefully, and then with the long strand you're just going to chain 2. So do yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then you have your first chain. So the first 3 chains does not count as a double crochet, because we will be doing double crochets for this entire project except for the outlining after the ruffles part, which I will be showing you later on in the video or in this tutorial. So yeah, this does not count as a double crochet, so you'll be not counting it as any double crochets in the whole entire project. So we're going to do double crochets, 10 double crochets in the magic ring. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go into the magic ring, pull up a loop, pull up a loop, and I should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. So I'm going to show you again. Yarn over, into the magic circle, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook now, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And see how now you have your first 2 double crochets. So you're going to repeat these double crochets until you have 10 double crochets in total, and I will meet you back up for what we're going to for the next round. Okay, so I am back, and I now have 10 double crochets in my magic circle. So before we start the next round, which I'm going to show you how to do, is, so you see how your big magic circle is really opened? What you're going to do is you're going to take that little short strand and you're just going to pull the magic circle tight closed like this. Make sure it's nice and tight, not too tight, otherwise the string, you could break the string, but tight enough so that way it's nice and closed. And you're not going to go into the chain, you're going to go into the first double crochet that you made, and you're going to do a slip stitch. So you're going to go in, take your long strand that you're working with, over, pull through, and then pull through that loop. And there you're going to be creating your slip stitch to close the round. So each round that you finish, you will be doing a slip stitch in that first double crochet that you made every time. So you're not going into the chain, but you're going into that first double crochet that you make for each round and doing a slip stitch to close each round. So now you're going to chain 2 to start the next round. So you're going to do 1 and 2. So like I said, the chain 2 does not count as a double crochet. It's just something to start off your next round for each one. So now we're going to do a double crochet. Well, we're going to be doing double crochet increases in each stitch around. So you're going to do double crochet increase, double crochet increase, double crochet increase all the way around. So that's 2 double crochets in each stitch, my bad, all the way around. So yarn over, and you're going to go into that first double crochet that you did the slip stitch in to start off. So you're going to do 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochet. So you're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around for the second round. Okay, so we have finished all of our double crochet increases all the way around for our second round. And now we are going to slip stitch into this first double crochet, not the chain, the first double crochet, this stitch right here. So this stitch right here, gonna go into it, and you're gonna yarn over, pull through, and then pull through that loop to create a slip stitch to close the round. So each round that you do, you're going to be going to that first double crochet to close each round with a slip stitch. So for our next round, I'm going to chain 2. And like I said, the chain 2 does not count as a double crochet. It is just a starting point to get you started for the next round. We are going to do double crochet, increase, double crochet, increase, double crochet, all the way around. So double crochet, increase, and then double crochet all the way around for the third round. So double crochet, increase, in the first stitch you did the slip stitch in like I showed you before. So see, in that first stitch, in that first double crochet, even though where you did the slip stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets in that stitch, and then double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet increase. Gotta pull my yarn out. And then double crochet in the next stitch. So for the third round, you're doing double crochet increase, double crochet increase, double crochet all the way around. And I'll meet you back up for the fourth round. Okay, so I finished my third round. So for round 4, we are going to do double crochet increase, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet increase, double crochet, double crochet. So in the first stitch, do a double crochet increase, so for the first stitch, double crochet increase, and then do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So do double crochet increase, double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back up. Okay, so I have finished my 4th round. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now for the next round, we are going to do a chain 2, which does not count as double crochet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do double crochet increase, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So you're going to do double crochet increase in the first stitch, and then you're going to do 3 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and you're going to do that all the way around. So you're going to do a double crochet increase in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the next 3 stitches all the way around. So go ahead and do that for your 5th round, and I'll meet you back up for the last round of our increases. Okay, so I have finished my 5th round, and now we are on our last row of increases. So you're going to chain 2, and you're going to do double crochet increase, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and then double crochet increase. So you're going to increase in the first stitch, and then you're going to do double crochet in the next 4 stitches, and you're going to continue that all the way around, and I will meet you back up for our regular double crochets going down to form the hat. So this last round is our last round of increases. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Round 6 is our last round of increases. So go ahead and do your last round of double crochet increase in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the next 4 stitches all the way around. And I'll meet you back up to start going down for our hat in the main color. Okay, so I'm back after our last round of increases. So yeah, so we did a double crochet increase, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and then double crochet increase all the way around. So we did that all the way around. So now we are going to go down to form our hat. So we are not going to go into any front loops or back loops, and we are just going to do double crochets all the way around as normal. So you're going to chain 2, you're going to go into that first stitch where you did a slip stitch to close the round, like I said before, and you're just going to do double crochets in each stitch all the way around. And let me just make sure of how many rounds I did for my other hat to let you guys know. So if I can find my ends, so I did. So you are going to do double crochets all the way around in each stitch for about 9 rows. So after the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after the 6th round of your last round of increases, you're just going to do 9 rounds of regular double crochets in each stitch all the way around to start forming the hat downwards. So it forms the hat that I showed you in the beginning of the tutorial. So it will form down to do the base. So just go right ahead and do your 9 rounds of regular double crochets in each stitch all the way around. Each stitch, oh my goodness, I cannot talk today, I'm sorry. All the way around for 9 rounds, just like how I'm doing here. Just doing regular double crochets in each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you back up when I'm finished with the base. And then I will show you guys how I do the ruffle part with the white. Okay, so I am back with the rounds that I did right after my increase round. So this was my last increase round right here. And so I did about like 7 rows down after my increase round. I did say 9 rounds, but it all depends on like how the base is gonna fit on your head. I usually constantly just measure by just trying on the base to see how many rows until it touches basically to the top of your ears. So I actually did just 7 rounds after the last increase round, which is right here. So yeah, so like just when you're doing the rounds going down right after that last increase round, just like start measuring it on your head to see how many more rows you have to do. I usually go until this top right here touches the top of my ears and fits perfectly fine in order to actually get that good form in. So that way when you start the ruffles, it's not too short or too small. So yeah, I did 7 rounds for the leftover rows to finish off the base of the hat. So this is what I have here. And next I'm going to show you how I start off the ruffles. And the way I start off my ruffles is I go into the front loops only to start them off. So let's get into that. Okay, so right after you finish your last round of the base for the hat, you are going to, like I said, for every round, you're going to do a slip stitch in that first double crochet. And now we are just going to chain 1, and we are going to fasten off and just cut out long enough string so you can weave in your ends later on. And if you want to weave in your ends now, you can, but I usually do them at the end once I'm done. So we are going to now start on the ruffle part. So to start the ruffle part, first we are going to make a slip knot and make sure you leave long enough string on the end so you can weave in that end in. I'm going to do a slip knot. This is just how I do a slip knot. We're going to insert our hook and pull that loop through. And so we're going to attach this into the double crochet where you did a slip stitch in. You're going to go into that stitch, take the long working yarn, and just do a slip stitch to attach your yarn to that main one that you fastened off with. And then we're going to chain 2. And so in that same stitch, but in the front loop only, so this is the front loop, and these are the back loops. So front loop, and these are the back loops. So we're going to do 3 double crochets in the front loop only for just this first round. Do 3 double crochets in the front loop only, in each stitch all the way around but we're only going to do it in the front loops just for this round. 2, and then there's 3. And then that's the back loop right there. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. So you're going to do double crochet, but in the front loop only. And you're going to do 3 double crochets in the front loops only of just this round. And then I will show you what's going to be for the next round. So go ahead and do your 3 double crochets in the front loops only, as in this loop right here. So these loops right here. See, these are the back loops and these are the front loops here. So go ahead and do 3 double crochets in the front loops only all the way around, and I'll meet you back up for the next round. Okay, so I am back with the first ruffle round. And so see how I said going into the front loops, and these are the back loops here. Like right here, all these back loops. So yeah, the first round of the ruffles, you go into the front loops and do 3 double crochets in each stitch, just for that first round of the ruffles though. And that way it gives a good inner lining for the inside of the hat, so when you wear it, it stays on like firmly. So for our next round, you're going to chain 2. And for this one, let me get my camera focused here. So now for the next round, you're just going to do 3 double crochets in each stitch all the way around as normal. So as in like, so you are not going into any back loops or front loops. You're going into the whole stitch itself like this. So I'm going to show you guys. So you're going to do double crochet, and you're going to go into the same stitch you did a slip stitch on to close the round. You're going to do 3 double crochets in that first stitch. My goodness, I cannot talk at this point. So you're going to do 3 double crochets like that. And so you're going to just keep on doing 3 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. And I'm actually going to show you just again. So 1, 2, layer needs to be unwinded, and 3. So yeah, you're going to do 3 double crochets in each stitch all the way around for this next round that we're working on. And you're going to be going into both loops. So you're not going into any front loops or back loops. You're going into both loops of the V of each stitch with 3 double crochets. And I'll meet you back up for the final round of double crochets for the ruffle. Okay, so we are back from the second round of the 3 double crochets in each stitch. So for our last round of the ruffle, we are going to chain 2. And so now in each stitch all the way around, we are just going to do 2 double crochets in each one. So we're going to go into that same stitch we did slip stitch on. 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. So I'm going to show you again. And we're still going into both loops. We're not doing any back loops or front loops, just both loops. And we are now doing 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. And this is going to be our last and final ruffle round for the ruffles of the ruffle hat. So just keep doing 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around for this final round of the ruffle. And I'll meet you back up for the outlining border for the hat. And the outlining border will be in the color of in the color that we did for the base of the hat. It'll look nice and pretty. So go ahead and do your 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around for the very last round of the ruffling part. Okay, so I am back from my last round of the ruffles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this first double crochet here, pull up a loop, and do a slip stitch to close the round, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then we are going to fasten off. Just leave like a long tail long enough to weave in the end later, and then just pull the string through. So once you are done with the ruffles, the last part that we do to finish off this beautiful hat is that we are going to go doing single crochet in each stitch all the way around in the main color that we used for the base of the hat to make it pop out and look lovely. So let's take our main color yarn, and like I said, leaving a long enough strand on the end to weave it in later. We're gonna make a slip knot, and we're just gonna go right in to the stitch where we did a slip stitch, like right here, and take your working yarn, and you're just gonna slip stitch it to that stitch right there. Actually, no, you're not gonna do that. My bad. You're just gonna do single crochet. You're gonna do 1 single crochet into this stitch right here where you did a slip stitch from the last round to close it. And there you have it, your first single crochet. So you're just gonna single crochet all the way around in each stitch, and this is gonna make the ruffles pop out and make the hat nice and lovely looking for when you want to wear it. Then to single crochet, basically you're gonna insert your hook into the stitch right here, pull up a loop, and you should have two loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. And that's how you create your single crochets. So you're just gonna single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and then when you get to the end point of where you get to this part again, you're just going to slip stitch in that first single crochet that you did when you get to the very end, and then chain 1 to fasten off. So go ahead and just do your whole border in single crochets in each stitch all the way around the ruffles, and I will meet you back up for the final look. Okay, so I am back and I have done my full single crochet border around the ruffles. Look at that, look how beautiful it looks. And I have done my slip stitch to the first single crochet we started off with, and I have chained 1. So now we are going to fasten off. We are going to just cut it right there, and we're going to pull our string through. And we will weave in our ends, and you now have a beautiful ruffle hat and hot pink. So yeah, the way I like to weave in my ends is simply get my needle out. Not that needle. Is that I just like to weave them in underneath these stitches right here, So we're gonna take our darning needle and we're just gonna go right under these stitches right here. Just gonna go under these stitches like that. And just pull it through like that. Snip them off a little bit. And take these ones. And so yeah, for these ones inside from the ruffle part, you can just weave them in underneath the double crochet stitches right here, and you'll be all set to go. So go ahead and weave your ends in, and when you get to this part, you can just easily just weave them in underneath the stitches in the magic circle. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back up again. Okay, so all of my ends are weaved in, and look at that. I'm actually gonna put this on one of my mannequin heads so you can see even better. And look at that. Don't mind my background, I'm currently still working on things. But look at this beautiful hat we just finished. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. I literally just want to keep making more. Even though it does take a long time, it's the ruffles part that takes a long time, but look at that. So yeah, so here is your lovely ruffle hat ready to wear. This is a very stylish hat. It can go with any kind of outfit, and feel free, and please give this video or this tutorial a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this tutorial. It really helps me in the algorithm out, and tag me in any of your posts if you decide to create this hat. I would really appreciate and love to see your creations, and I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Bye!